Spoke to you soon, viewers in the live stream. Sorry if you had a momentary blip there. As we've said, we've had some connection problems most of the day. With the Wi-Fi not quite doing what we want or giving us slightly weird stuff. On that occasion we needed a brief reset, just to remind it that we existed and that we wanted to be on the internet and we wanted to be sending stuff. So apologies, you missed a few there. We're still on deadlift cycle number 1. Just give me 1 second. Guys, sorry. Good news is, if you're following a lifter in this flight, we've got green across the board, so we're all good. William Reed here. Very muscular guy indeed, pulling 200 for his opener and making it look super easy. So that's all good. And we've got green at our end now, so if you have stuck with us and occasionally you had a bit of drop out, again, our apologies. We're afraid we can only work with the internet that is coming through to the devices and or the 4G which we can get access to, and I'm afraid on occasion here in Moulton we are slightly deprived of both. So here we go with 205. So we've got some big openers coming here and some big lads. Let's see how this goes. Gets into it, gets it lifted. It's all good. This is going to be quite a competition, one feels. He's happy with that. And that's the relief of knowing you're on the board and the job's a good one. So, here comes Harold, conventional lifter. Yeah, strong boy, pulled it through, that's all to the good. It's 10, didn't look like 210, looked like something a lot lighter indeed. Quite a battle on our hands here. We've reached the stage of lifters where we've got headphones gone and going on and on just for the lift. Obviously music has been proven to help people get in the zone, get people psyched up for their lifts. So no great surprise to be people doing that. Oliver Small. I'm afraid I made the Oliver is not small joke earlier. I'm already regretting it. And so if Oliver, if you do ever see this, please accept my apologies. It's a very obvious comment. Oliver's pulled. All good. So coming up, we have Jahan. Let's see what he's doing. Jahan's opening on 180. Okay, so we're on to deadlift 2. All green across the board. Again, apologies if some of you lost us for a moment. We're back now, and you didn't miss any drop lift. So if you've got a lifter in this flight, you're all to the good. So let's have a look at what Jahan's doing. Gets himself set. Stands it up. Oh no. Yeah. Okay, so the problem there is he gets it up and then just slight forward movement. You've got to just, once you're at the top, you've got to stay still. Some of you will have seen the World's Games, I want to say, not so long ago, where Joy Namani pulled humongous series of deadlifts, but then just moves forward slightly at the top of the lift. Took her till the 3rd attempt to get it right. Just got to make sure you don't have that little bob forwards. Here comes Michael, 185, deadlift number 2. Strong lad. Oh, he's put it very into his back. And I think that was a decision to put that one down, because I think he realised he got himself out of position. Good news is, if you're in that position, you can take a step back. And you can just say, okay, I'll get it next time round. So we got 190 here for Jan. 190, and he gets himself set. Push. Yep. A bit of a shake on one knee. Good lift, all to the good. 190. Stays on the bar, I believe, for Goffey. Here comes Goffey. Goffey's wearing a pair of Vans. Oh, wow. Well, if he'd been allowed to hitch it, he'd have had that, but obviously he's not. So no lift for Goffey. He got some time to correct that. It felt like if he got his hips a little bit more under it, he'd have probably been alright. So what do we got? Dominic King, 202.5. Big second lift. Let's see how he gets on. Gets himself in. Well, I don't want to start obsessing about footwear, but I'm not sure what he's wearing on his feet, but it's very flash indeed. A touch of the Iron Man about it, but maybe I'm reading too much into it. Anyway, enough of the footwear. He gets himself set. He works his hands in, so he's happy. Got to get that grip right. If the grip starts to slip, it can send signals to your brain that you haven't got the lift, which is a pain. Now, there's a bit of shaking, but he's done it. It's a good lift. Can't complain. And just like that, we've passed the 11.5 hour mark. 11.5 hours, solid competition since 10 o'clock this morning. Coming up on 12 hours, two things. Big shout out to the sponsors at Lyco SPD Spotter. We're Wired Up Media, we've been with you all day. Big shout out to the spotters, big shout out to the judges, big shout out to the Farm Powerlifting Club. Provided almost all this, put this whole thing together. Okay, 202.5, here he comes. Shakes his head, wants to get it. Let's see. He really needs to make sure he gets underneath this. He's pushing himself right up. And there comes a point where, okay. Wow. Perfect. Yep. Pushed himself right out, pulled himself right back in. Of course, the worry about pushing yourself out is you don't pull yourself right back in, but your job's a good one. So, moving up to 205. Dylan, 205 kilos. Here he comes. Steps himself out. Sets himself. His feet are right by the plates. I'm sure it'll be fine. Push, push, push. Up it goes. His grip holds and away he goes. Puts it down. Excellent. These guys are all pros. They know what they're doing. It's not for me to doubt. Okay, here we go. What we got? 210, 74. Another sumo deadlifter. Gets himself set. Some big legs, this lad. Should be easy. Obviously, it's not always the case that the size of the legs equates to the size of the lift, but I'd be surprised if he... Oh. That's the thing with sumo. If you just misgroove it, if you're not quite in the right place, the transfer of power just goes. Before you know it, that bar's not moving anywhere. Stuck to the floor. So, Ahmed, 210. Gets himself set. Good flat back. Drives through. That's good to know. Down it goes. 3 white lights. Okay. Angus, I believe. I'm just waiting for my board to update. Getting himself in position. He wants his feet to be right. That's good. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, that's a shame. No way he'll get it with that downward movement. Oh, he's not a fan of that. Okay, well, he's got another shot at it. I don't think he can claim to be hard done by, frankly. It was a good... it did go down, so it was all good. Naib gets his feet nice and wide. Here he goes. Oh no, slips out of his hands. So there's something, I don't pull sumo myself, but there's something about how the bar moves up your legs that if your fingers are clamped against your legs, the thighs can serve as you contract your thighs to uncurl your hand, which is what it looks like happened there. That's why a lot of these guys are covered in talc. Not least William. It was highly talced up. 212.5. He's a big lad. There's no two ways about it. Must at least dropped a fair bit of weight to get here. Oh, yeah. And that, as his hand wobbling in, just left him in wrong position, spat him backwards. Again, it's worth saying. "11 hours, 29 minutes in, you saw the spotters dart up from the back. And we're ready to catch him if needs be." Hello to Rob Jones if you're watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. I always like to see new subscribers. There'll be a lot more action for you tomorrow, Rob, if you're looking for it. Another full day's lifting. So, Harold Marshall gets himself gripped, winds his hands in, doesn't muck around, goes for the lift. Wonder if he's rushed it. Oh, look at that, shoots his hips through. Now let's just see. Yes. You'll notice that the hand goes on the belt and he's gently walked off the platform, which is all good. I think he's alright. He's heading off. He's got someone, yeah, that's good. It's the central nervous system. The blood pressure spikes as you exert yourself. It is, in truth, an awful lot of fun, right up to the point where you fall over, which has not happened today. We haven't seen it. But if we did, these spotters, dead on the ball, they'll catch you. Well, or at very least, they'll break your fall, which is, decent. Let's see what Oliver's got. Gets himself in there, pushes himself up. He's all good. He wouldn't want to dip any further forward than that, but it doesn't matter. He's got the lift. 222.5. So we've got a smattering of red up on the board now. We've missed some of these lifts. Still going great guns. Michael Zhao. Needs to pull himself underneath this, keep his core tight. Which is, oh no. No, you gotta know. If it's not going up, it's not going up. There's no sense in hurting yourself. You can go away, have a think about that and try for something else. Goffey coming up, 190. And deadlift number 3. Big shout out to all the 58 that are watching. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. Big subscribe button at the top of the screen if you're not subscribed already. There's loads of powerlifting action tomorrow. Some of you know we had a bit of a connection problem this morning, driven by the lack of 4G internet in and around Moulton, and a few issues with the college internet. They worked really hard on them. And now we should be nice and smooth. So, if powerlifting's your thing, subscribe, come back tomorrow. You're going to see some big lifts tomorrow. We've got the super heavyweights. There's going to be some big lads lifting some big weights. Not that there aren't now, as Jahan goes for a thick end of 200 kilos. Hooks his hands over, pushes it through. Wow, that's a fantastic lift. There it is. 200 kilos for Gian. So now we're getting to the stage where people have done the lifts. The tubes of Pringles are coming out. People are dancing around the room. Literally in some cases. Sense of relief. Knowing that you got it done. Didn't hurt yourself, didn't fall over. Oh, look at that. It's a fight for GN. He's got it, 200 kilos. There we are. He's happy with that. That's what we like to see. It's a lot of work to come here. It's a lot of travel. You're relying on a lot of people to help you out. You'll have been on the go since pretty early this morning. It's a long old day, trying to keep yourself focused, trying to keep yourself sharp. That's why you do it, for results like that. Big shout out to our sponsors, Alico, SPD Spotter. We're Wired Up Media, working on behalf of British Powerlifting, streaming from Moulton College. Event's been run by the Farm Powerlifting Club from Moulton. Top bunch of guys, been on the go for nearly 11.5 hours. Unfortunately, this one isn't coming off the floor. Can't fault the effort. Shakes hands with the judges. Nice touch. Those judges have done a lot of work today. So have the spotters, so have the loaders. Great work by all. Here we go with Dominic King at 210. Don't forget, if you are watching, hit like, hit subscribe. All makes a big difference. So, here comes Dominic. 210. Deadlift number 3. Getting himself set. Composes himself. It's a big lift. Don't want to overthink it. Probably isn't. Just getting set. Feels his hands in. So some of the shallower sumos we've seen today. Puts himself into it. Oh, it moved about a second after you thought you wanted it to. No, he's not got it. No, if it had started off the floor half a second before it did, I think he'd have had it. But just see that little bit extra exertion having to go into it. The momentum was lost and away we went. Here he comes. Najib. 2-1-2. Sumo stance again. Gets himself set. Gets himself set. Drives himself in. Hips down, push up. Now the right hand side. He smiles. Smiles and tongue out. He's happy. He's done his lifting for the day. He gave it his best. William Reed stepping up. 2-1-2. Now William, something went weird and it spat him backwards. And his approach to this one seems to have been, I'll do it again. I'll just get more hyped up. So I'm sure he's made a technical adjustment, or maybe not. Maybe he's just going to go hell for leather and pull it. Right, fingers crossed. Let's see how he goes. Up it goes, and it gets to there. It does the same thing. Right, okay. Yes, he's got it. Well, there we go. And that's what it needed. It needed more velocity. That's all it was. Picked up by his mate. He goes back. A lot of support for William here today. That's good. It's a great lift, in fairness. So, what do we got? 2-1-2. Here we go. There's a lot of talcum powder on the legs. The socks are going up nice and high. It feels like this one's going to run along the shins a bit. That's what we're prepping for. It's a big lift. Just needs to get into it, drive through it, take it from there. Psyching himself up. Now he starts off very high and then pulls himself underneath it. We were worried about before. Oh no, he's... Wow. Well, it just goes to show, doesn't it? It's somewhere between technique and attitude is where the lift is found. And that time, I'm not sure if he didn't just go in there with the attitude, I'm going to pull this no matter what, and flew up. Frankly, it looks like he's got a bit left in him, but that's for another day. He's done a fantastic today. Dylan on 215. Out he comes, fixes his belt. Deadlift number 3. Dylan is another one who likes to put his feet right by the plates. But it's fine, we'll all just relax and hope that his grip holds. Oh, okay. Dylan, in fairness, seems to know to jump inside when that happens, so I think we can all afford to relax. Angus, Queen, 217.5. It's a big weight. Out he comes. A bit of visualization there. Slightly shuffling walk to it, but that's good. He's planting his foot positioning, so important in sumo. Didn't get his last one, so suspect that this is just to make sure he doesn't leave the competition with that sort of lingering doubt. Have I got this? Not that he should. Wow. Oh. Right, now that's about how much his right hand opened. Yeah, and he got it. So it was the thing where his hand caught on his thigh, opened a bit. Well, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Either way, the judges gave it, and they're the ones who would know. They want to listen to a hack like me. So, Ahmed, 225. Okay, here he comes. 225. Steps himself out, gets himself set. Rocking the Converse. He's a tall guy. That's not necessarily most helpful for deadlifting. Sometimes you just want to just get yourself under it and take it from there, but he's a big lad. He should be able to move it. He's done a good water cut for this as well by the looks of it. Now it's very much into his back. Oh, if he sticks with this, oh, well, you can't fault his effort. But no, that was lost in the first few seconds. It was just slightly too far out of position, and then couldn't muscle himself back into it. Good on him for trying, though. I think I would have probably, I would have walked rather far from that. Oliver Small, 227. Stretches himself out. Gets himself set. Double overhand. Pushes, pushes, pushes. Through he goes. Well, I'd see where that went wrong. It didn't. Oh, okay. 2-1. I don't want the centre judge, Sean. Maybe a soft lockout. Either way, you only need 2, and he's got 2. Harold queuing himself up. 230. Let's see how he gets it. Oh yeah, that sound you can hear is Harold. He's pretty pumped for this one. Right, it must be a PR or something similar. Right, go on, Harold. Let's see it then. Yeah. Not quite. Sometimes you've got to commit to yourself. Okay, so yet again, I'm afraid I am somewhat misled as to how many groups we have. So this is now I understand the last group. So here we go, and we start again with Fergus. 11 hours, 46 minutes of competition, back to back. My name's George, streaming for Wired Up Media. Big thanks to Aliko SPD, big thanks to Spotter, big thanks to British Powerlifting who put this together, big thanks to Moulton College who've hosted it, massive thanks to the Farm Powerlifting Club who put the whole lot together. Mad respect to the judges, to the spotters, to the loaders, to the people who are still here 10 o'clock at night and have been going since 10 this morning, and most of them were here at 8, making this happen, keeping the sport alive. It's fantastic work. Fergus has pulled his 170, that's all to the good. Brett. Okay, so we're not messing around anymore. Brett's coming out with 200 right off the bat, which is a whisper away from triple bodyweight. You're going to see some big lifts, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like. A lot of work's gone into this. Powerlifting isn't a massively rich sport, so anything you can do to help grow the channel, whether it be a subscribe or a like, all really appreciated. Goes a long way towards bringing the coverage to you as best as we can. Here comes Brett, pulls it up, puts it down. It's a good lift, can't complain. And of course at this stage we reset. Reset. These guys have got a totally different agenda to the other guys. They just want to get their final lift in and away they go. Daniel pulls up. Nothing to argue about there. going to have to lose the commentary for 1 second, ladies and gents. I'm just going to go and nudge my camera, which I think has been interacted with by someone on the way past, and is now slightly out of position. 1 second. And we're back. Sorry for the slight break there, ladies and gents. I'm afraid I've been sat in this seat for about 12 hours. I'm afraid occasionally just have to stand up and answer the call of nature. Too much information, I'm sure. So we're getting there. Giuseppe, 250. So now we're seeing some pretty serious weight. 250. Well over triple body weight. Giuseppe's getting himself set. He's put his feet very close to those plates. I must stop worrying about that. These guys know what they're doing. Double overhand grip. Gets himself in. Pulls it up. Puts it down. No complaints. So, Fergus. 182.5. Deadlift number 2. Getting himself set up. Out he comes. So we're on deadlift number 2. Good news is, if your lift was in the first flight, I'm seeing green across the board. So if you missed anything, don't panic, they're still there. Here he comes, Fergus. 182.5, deadlift number 2. Gets himself sight, drops himself in. Shoots his hips under, one would hope. Yeah, compact. Glutes to finish. Down it goes. Very nice deadlift that. It's a good lift. So no complaints from anyone here. Ben on 210. I haven't quite got to the bottom of what's on Ben's headgear. See, ritual's a big part of this. A sense of what goes on. Okay. Ben gets himself set. Drops his hips under. So there's a sticking point. He just grooved straight through it. It's all good. White lights across the board for that. Daniel on 210. Alico, SPD, Spotter. None of it happens without them. None of it happens without British powerlifting. Put the whole thing together. The farm, massive shout out to the farm who've put all this together. Moulton Farm, the venue. As Daniel works his way through, pops himself back down. It's a good lift. So many people to thank. Here we go with Brett. Brett Winsper. Pulling 212. Under 74 kilos. It's a phenomenal achievement. Gets himself set. Stands himself up. He's saying something to himself. Takes a deep breath, gets himself gripped. Push, 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 push. Hips through. Oh, very good. Head came forward. Back went back. Good lift. So we're moving through this now. I am assured this is the last flight, but I've said that for the last 2 flights. So you probably shouldn't take my word for it. I know nothing, and all the people I talk to know nothing. Up it goes. 217.5. No complaints. We got Benjamin. I'm afraid our on-screen graphic is taking its time to catch up. But this is Benjamin getting himself set. 220. Some big legs as Ben. He'll be looking to bring those into the equation. Keeps them really close together as well by the looks of it. Maximise the power. Interesting to see what happens with his back. Nice, yeah. That's an exceptional deadlift. Now. No, that was fine. A little bit close to the floor when he put it down. Big shout out to the 46 of you watching now. We've lost 4 or so I think it's fair enough, given that it's 10:15. Must be close to bedtimes. But the big 46 of you that's still with us, give us a subscribe. Give us a like if you fancy it. If you're liking the coverage. Here we come, hips through. It's a great lift. Good work by Benjamin. Just a reminder as well, another full day of lifting tomorrow. Don't know if it's going to go on quite as late as this. If it does, I will miss my train and be stranded here in Moulton. Not a bad place to be stranded in. Very, very amenable, but I have no hotel booking, so that'll be interesting. Tune in tomorrow, if for nothing else, if just to find out whether I make it home or not. Might have been reduced to sitting here live streaming all night. Right hand, 225. Get set. Oh no, that's not coming up. It's the problem with sumo. It's too much. It's too much. There's no sort of no covering for it. It either comes up or it doesn't. So Christopher Clark, 225. These are some big deadlifts coming out here. Christopher wears his belt high. I've never quite understood this myself. But whatever works for you is whatever works for you. Wherever you need to brace is wherever you need to brace. And straight up is Christopher. He puts it a lot on his back. He got it done. That's the main thing. Wouldn't care to see it get too much heavier. But he's got the belt. He's supporting himself. Joshua. Pulling 235. On-screen graphic hasn't quite caught up. Will do in a moment, no doubt. Here he comes. Looks composed. Doesn't seem to be a problem. Good flat back at this stage. Let's hope he keeps the position as he goes through the lift. Oh. Well, something happened there. I don't know if he quite got his hips low enough or whether he quite got in position for it. I suspect that weight's there. I think maybe he knew that he wasn't quite in the right place to kick off. Qualin. 237.5, so well over triple body weight. Push, 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 push. Stands it straight up. It's a beautiful deadlift. Beautiful deadlift. Good luck. Good socks. I don't know quite what's on the socks. They're certainly lively. Mandatory, of course, to have pulled up socks at this stage. The grip on the bar is very sharp. It's almost sandpapery. So if you don't, you will tear your shins up. And therefore, the wearing of the long socks is mandatory. Hugo Beaumont, 250. Hugo looks pumped. He's got that sort of shaky quality of people who are about to lift a lot of weight and know it. And a quite fantastic bicep vein, actually. Just really popping. Let's see how he gets on. Wow, yeah. Goodness me. He looks like he could curl that. I don't think he could curl it, but he looks like he could. Good on Hugo. Gabriel, I believe. Again, my on-screen graphics just catching up. It's been a long day for all of our kit. I think it probably all needs a turn off and a quiet down and a cool down. But this, I have understood, is Gabriel pulling 250 and not worrying about it so much. Just getting it done. Did it move forward? No, it didn't. Apologies, the on-screen graphic has moved slightly. It's a long day for everyone. I think someone's bumped into the projector, if I had to guess. It's understandable. Now this is a junior record for Giuseppe. Oh, and he's pumping the crowd up. 271. All right, Giuseppe, let's see what he's got. Taking his time. He gets himself set. It's very quiet in here now. Oh. Well, he's got another punt at that. Hard to see. He'd attacked it with a bit more velocity, but then it's hard to see how his position would have stayed. Tricky. But then again, as we've seen today, not impossible to come back from something like that and pull it right round. Fergus Ellis, 187.5, deadlift number 3. Big shout out to everyone watching. Really appreciate it. Subscribe and like if you're enjoying. Meanwhile, Fergus is going to pull 187.5 for his third deadlift. We've all got faith. He's a strong guy. Let's see what he's got. He's rounded slightly. No, not quite. If he'd have tucked himself in a little bit more, he might have made it, but not quite got it on this occasion. Plenty of time. And that's, I think, the joy for all these lifters is just to remember that university level, some of them are mature students, but broadly speaking, these are young lads. They've got a lot of lifting left in them. If you are watching now and you're enjoying what you're seeing, don't forget, we've got a whole program of lifting tomorrow, including the super heavy weights. So when you see some serious weight, not that this isn't a lot, 215 kilos. Still, let's see. A lot of crowds behind Ben. Want to see him lift this? We all want to see him lift this. Sinks his hips in, pushes it forward. I can't fault the effort, but that's not going to fly. Yeah, he's had a good go. On a personal level, a small moment of concern now that as the attendance in the room has dropped, I could potentially be heard. I have to take the headphones off, see what comes on. Here we go. Daniel stepping it up, 215. Drops himself in, gets himself set. Now, is this going up? Oh, yes, it is. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good lift. Should be very happy with that. You'll be pleased to know, people on the stream, I've taken my headphones off and I don't think I'm speaking loud enough to be heard. So that's all good. Brett Winsper, 225 kilos. Gets himself set. Rocks back and forward. A little bit of something with his arms. It's all about ritual at this stage. Let's see how he goes. A little bit more time than last time, as befits his final lift. Gets himself set. Mixed grip. And that's not leaving the floor. Good shot, Brett. Can't fault the effort. Now's the time to have a go. No sense in leaving anything out there. Ask the questions of yourself. Ryan, 225 kilos. Big lifts. Let's see what comes up. And that's it. 8 hours ago, we passed 12 hours continuous competition. Just massive, massive shout out to all of the team from the farm powerlifting, all the judges, all the spotters. This has been a phenomenal day of lifting. Huge amount of lifters processed. A lot of people got what they've done, got what they wanted. Massive amount of volunteers. So many people putting so much into this. So huge, huge shout out. 12 hours of fantastic competition. Same again coming up tomorrow. A lot of people doing a lot of work, absolutely for nothing for the advancement of the sport. Big respect. Respect, of course, as well to a LICO SPD spotter. A big shout out to British Powerlifting, and shout out to Moulton College, who've gone out of their way to do their very best for us today. Okay, come on, Benjamin. Ah, no, not today. He's left it out there. Fair play to him. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it doesn't. What do we got? Oh, wow. Stu is pumped for this one. 2-2-7. Got to get himself underneath it. Wow, well, he's not messing around. He just went out there, picked it up, and he's put it down. He's psyched for that. Good lad. Yeah, that's the. I mean, there's a lot to be said for just getting it done. It's all good to have your ritual. It's good to have your setup. But if you just run out there, pick up the weight, and then run back, gets the job done. Here we go. Graphic hasn't updated, I'm afraid. The router and the cameras are as tired as everyone else, but Christopher is coming out. He's got his high belt, which befits the fact that he tends to put it in his upper back. He knows what he's doing, I'm sure. Gets himself set. No lift. Well, can't say he didn't give it a go. You've got to give it a try. Benjamin Sharp, 235. I'm afraid I'm not quite close enough to the screen to tell you what's going on with the leaderboard. I think there's people vying for positions. And why not, right? You're in the leaderboard, you're shooting for it. Give it a sense. Here comes Benjamin Sharp, 235. Gets himself set. Now Benjamin smoked his second one, if I remember rightly. Let's see what he's got here. Expectant hush. Gets underneath it. Oh. No, I think he had a bit more than that. But he knows best what's going on with his body, and mostly he knows what's going on with his back. So good for him. Here comes Joshua. He's got big quads, which if he can bring those into play, going to drive him forward. He's gone with the deadlift slippers, which, as silly as it sounds, I think it makes a difference. Closer to the floor, the better. Gets himself underneath, straightens up, and then explodes out of that. Go on, Joshua. Go on, Joshua. Yes. As long as his grip holds, he is set. That is a fantastic lift. Should be very happy with that indeed. Great day's work from Joshua. Corinne, 250. Shout out to Alaiko, shout out to SPD, shout out to Spotter. My name's George, I work for Wired Up Media. We're streaming today. Got a few issues, a few ups and downs, a few problems with the internet. There's not a lot of internet around here. We've grabbed as much as we possibly can, so we can give you as much of a data as we possibly can. We're back tomorrow. We're going to be giving you just as much. Here comes Corinne. Over under grip. Pushes, quads, if he can just bring his hips through, yes. That's a hell of a lift. That's 250, fantastic. I should be very, very happy with that. That was right on the margins. Here we go, 265. Now, we've seen a 305 kilo deadlift today. I don't know if any of these boys are going to go as high. We saw a world record earlier. Fantastic world record. Let's see what we got. We go to 265. Maybe we won't quite scrape the dizzy heights of 300 just now, but we can dream. Here he comes. Here goes a remarkably emotional lifter. Oh no, forgive me, I'm thinking of someone else. Hugo, equally psyched. Hugo is the guy with the humongous vein in his bicep. Here he comes. And well, if he works through, his grip's going. I'd be surprised. Well, shows what I know. What a great lift. That's fantastic.
Lads.
271, Giuseppe. Wow, that was a great lift, wasn't it? Here he comes.
Sorry, it's all good.
Here he comes, Giuseppe. Something's happened. Been a long day. I think it's a spreadsheet jump. Occasionally it happens. Oh no, here comes Giuseppe, 271. There was a moment of hesitation. Here he comes. It's a big lift. Let's pump for it. Pulling conventional. Best way to pull. Gets himself grip. Doesn't muck around. His back's rounded a bit. If he can bring his hips through, it'll be incredible. No. Well. No, I think he... Well, top marks for effort. But I think it's not going to... Well... He didn't want to let it go. And again, shout out to the spotters. They were in there like a shot. It's the record, World Junior record, or British Junior record. Oh, and this is Giuseppe, so apologies, I think we have had a spreadsheet mistake. This is Giuseppe, he's pulling 271, this is a record. He's asking the room to get behind him. Let's see how he does. Gets himself set. Go on, Giuseppe, go on. Hush. Push, whips through. Oh dear. Unfortunate, he's had a good go. Just wasn't going to go up today, and I think that's it. I appreciate I've said that for the last 2 times, but I honestly do believe that is the end of the comp. That's the end of the comp. No more lifters left to lift. We must sign off properly. We must say final thank yous. Alaiko, SPD, Spotter. Nothing happens without these guys. Moulton Farm, the venue where we're at. Wonderfully supportive. Have done absolutely everything they can to give us just as much in as they possibly can. We've done the best we can with it. We are Wired Up Media. Delight to work with British Powerlifting. Really keen to improve the profile of the sport as best as we possibly can. But finally, the real stars of today: spotters and loaders, supplied by the farm, the Moulton College powerlifting team. It's been 12 hours and 17 minutes they've been on the go. They've serviced literally hundreds of lifters. Many tons of weight have been lifted. We've reached over 2,000 people on the live stream, and it's all because of the hard work done by the judges, the spotters, the lifters, and just about everyone else. Huge shout to Kevin and the team. Big shout to British Powerlifting for bringing all of this together. And we will see you tomorrow for much more of the same. Like, subscribe, bookmark us. Stream will be in the same place. See you tomorrow. Thanks again.